For your whole life, you've been told the same thing about getting older. Eat less. Slow down. Your body needs less food now. But here is the truth almost no one tells you. After the age of 65, eating less can be the very thing that makes you weak, frail, and unsteady on your feet. It's one of the most damaging myths in all of senior health. And the worst part is, the people who follow it most carefully, the ones trying hardest to be healthy, are often the ones it harms the most. Because the problem was never really about calories. It's about one specific thing your body is quietly losing every single day after 60. And eating less only makes that loss faster. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what that is, why your body now needs more of one nutrient, not less, and the simple way to protect your strength and your independence for years to come. So stay with me, because this one idea could change how you eat for the rest of your life. Let's begin with the trap, because it's a trap that catches almost everyone. As we get older, a few things happen at once. Our appetite naturally fades, meals get smaller, food just doesn't call to us the way it once did. And on top of that, many of us decide to eat less on purpose, to lose a little weight, to be good, to follow the advice we've heard our whole lives that eating less is the healthy thing to do. For a younger person, that can be perfectly fine. But for an older body, this is where the quiet damage begins. Because when you simply eat less across the board, you're not just cutting calories. You're starving the one thing that keeps you strong. One honest note before we go further. This video is for education, not medical advice. If you have kidney disease or any health condition, please talk to your doctor before changing how much protein you eat. Your needs may be different. So what is this one thing you're slowly losing? It's your muscle. Starting around the age of 30, we all begin to lose muscle. But after 60, that loss speeds up dramatically. Doctors call this sarcopenia, the gradual wasting away of your muscle as you age. And I need you to understand just how much your muscle matters because it's so much more than strength. Your muscle is what lets you rise from a chair without a struggle. It's what catches you when you trip so a stumble doesn't become a fall. It's what carries you up the stairs and lets you lift your own grandchildren. Your muscle protects your bones. It steadies your balance. It helps your body handle blood sugar. And when you get sick, it's your muscle that gives you the reserve to fight back and recover. In simple terms, your muscle is your independence. It is the difference between living in your own home on your own terms and slowly losing the ability to care for yourself. So now you can see the real danger. When you cut your food, and especially when you cut your protein, you don't only lose fat, you lose muscle. And after 65, that is the very last thing you can afford to lose. This is why so many older people who eat healthy and stay slim still end up weak, shaky, and frail. They cut their food, lost the muscle along with the fat, and never realized that's what was happening. Now here comes the part that truly turns everything you've been told upside down. You might think that as we age and become less active, we need less protein. It seems to make perfect sense. But the science says the exact opposite. Older adults need more protein than younger adults. Not less. More. And there's a fascinating reason why. As we age, our muscles develop something called anabolic resistance. Here's what that means, in plain language. When a young person eats a moderate amount of protein, their muscles eagerly grab it and use it to build and repair themselves. But an older person's muscles have grown a little stubborn. They've become harder of hearing, in a sense. You have to speak louder to get their attention, which means you need a larger amount of protein to trigger that same muscle-building response. So your aging muscles are crying out for more protein, right at the time of life when most people are eating less of it. That is the trap, in a single sentence. Let me give you the actual numbers because they're eye-opening. The old standard recommendation for protein, the one set decades ago, is about 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram you weigh. But the leading expert groups now agree that number is simply too low for older adults. After 65, you should be aiming for roughly 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. And even more if you're active or recovering from an illness. Let me make that real. If you weigh around 150 pounds, you should be aiming for somewhere around 70 to 85 grams of protein every single day. And here's the sobering part. Studies show that most older adults fall far short of that. Over a third don't even reach the old lower recommendation, let alone the higher one their bodies actually need. There's one more piece to this, and it's the part people miss most often. It's not just how much protein you eat in a day, it's how you spread it out. Because of that anabolic resistance, your muscles need a decent dose of protein at once to wake up and respond, roughly 25 to 30 grams in a single meal. A tiny bit of protein, scattered thinly, doesn't cross that threshold. It's like trying to start a fire with a single spark instead of a proper flame. And here's where most people go wrong. Think about a typical breakfast. Toast, cereal, a piece of fruit, a cup of tea. There's almost no protein in that at all. So many older adults eat little to no protein at breakfast, a modest amount at lunch, and then most of their protein at dinner. Which means for most of the day, their muscles are getting no signal to rebuild, and they're slowly wasting away. If this is opening your eyes to something no one ever told you, take 1 second and subscribe. This channel is here to give you the honest, practical truths that protect your strength and your independence as you age. Now, let me give you the simple plan to fix all of this. Here is exactly what to do, and the wonderful news is none of it is complicated. First, and most importantly, stop trying to eat less and start making sure you eat enough, with protein at the center of every meal. Shift your whole mindset. Food, especially protein, is not your enemy now. It is the fuel that keeps your muscles strong and keeps you on your feet. Second, spread your protein across all 3 meals. And please, fix your breakfast. This is the single biggest, easiest win for most people. Adding protein to your morning meal alone can transform how much muscle you hold on to. Third, aim for a good portion of protein, around that 25 to 30 grams, at each meal. Let me show you what that actually looks like so it's not just a number. At breakfast, that could be 2 or 3 eggs, or a generous bowl of Greek yogurt, or some cottage cheese. A simple swap from toast and tea to eggs and yogurt can change everything. At lunch and dinner, a palm-sized portion of chicken, fish, turkey, or lean meat gets you most of the way there. So does a serving of beans, lentils, or tofu, along with some dairy. You don't need powders or expensive supplements. You just need real protein-rich food at every meal, every day. Eggs, dairy, fish, poultry, lean meat, beans, lentils, nuts. These are the foods that keep you strong. And fourth, and this is the secret that makes protein truly powerful, pair it with a little bit of movement that works your muscles. Protein gives your muscles the building blocks, but movement is the signal that tells your body to actually use those blocks to build. Together, they're far stronger than either one alone. This doesn't mean the gym. It can be as simple as standing up from a sturdy chair a few times, rising onto your toes at the kitchen counter, or carrying your own groceries. Gentle strength, done regularly, plus enough protein. That is the proven recipe against muscle loss. Now, what if you genuinely do need to lose some weight? Here's the key. You can, but you must do it without losing your muscle. That means even while eating a little less overall, you keep your protein high, and you keep moving your muscles. That way, you lose the fat you want to lose, and you protect the muscle you cannot afford to lose. Cutting your protein to lose weight after 65 is one of the most harmful things you can do to your future self. So let me leave you with the bigger truth behind all of this. The reframe I most want you to remember. The goal of eating after 65 is not to eat as little as possible. The goal is to stay strong, to stay steady, to stay independent, in your own home, living life on your own terms. Food is not something to fear or to shrink away from. It is the fuel your body uses to hold itself together. And protein, in particular, is what stands between you and the slow slide into frailty. Now, a few honest words of caution before we finish. If you have kidney disease, this advice may not apply to you. People with certain kidney conditions are often told to limit their protein. So please, always follow your own doctor's guidance. And if you've been losing weight or your appetite without meaning to, don't ignore it. Unintentional weight loss can be a sign of an underlying health problem, and it's worth seeing your doctor about. This is general information to help you ask better questions and make better choices, not a replacement for the advice of your own doctor who knows your health. So let's bring it all together. After 65, eating less can quietly rob you of the muscle that keeps you strong and independent. The real danger is sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, and cutting your food, especially your protein, only speeds it up. The fix is to flip the script. Don't eat less, eat enough, and put protein at the center of every meal. Aim for around 25 to 30 grams per meal, fix that protein-empty breakfast, and pair your food with gentle strength movement. And if you must lose weight, protect your muscle strong while you do it. So here's what I'd love you to do right now. Comment the word strong if this changed how you think about eating as you age. And tell me, honestly, how much protein was in your breakfast this morning? I have a feeling many of us are about to start eating very differently. Then subscribe so the next strength-protecting truth finds its way to you. And share this with someone you love who's been watching what they eat and slowly getting weaker, because this might be the most important thing they hear all year. And watch this next, because there's one simple exercise that a geriatric doctor calls the single best move to stop muscle loss, and it takes just 5 minutes a day with no equipment at all. I'll see you there. This video was for general education only and is not medical advice. If you have kidney disease, are losing weight unintentionally, or take any medication, please speak with your doctor before changing your diet.